Hey all, I felt a little um, need to come on here and make a point to say that I used to do quite a few videos, and I was telling so much, maybe too much truth. Forgive me, y'all. I have to stay calm in this because when you speak truth and the Lord uses you to speak on some things that are going to come, in spite of I have struggles, I fight things, I'm going through things, y'all. But when even with my own battles, I can't or won't, or well, I can't say I can or won't, because sometimes there's people around that will stop that, will try, even especially those who you look up to and you think you're being obedient to what respectful man says. A man of God, you want to be obedient to the man of God as well, to the Lord Jesus Christ, biblically. So you then begin to follow, and stop speaking on anything, erasing everything. And that actually led to me backsliding, to be honest. It really did, because I knew that it was God, but as I always have stated, God proves himself. So I was allowed to know that there would be people out here losing their limbs, getting blistered up, people losing their hair, women losing their hair, things going very array. People's going to lose legs and arms. I said that in one of my videos. I'm just now really remembering. I always know what comes out of my mouth because it's for me too. And sometimes when I respectfully feel I'm trying to be obedient to a man of God because they hear from the Lord, I've got to respect the lead, and hush up. And then I'm starting to see what God allowed me to know and to say about these things. They're happening. Measles is breaking out in Ohio in 2025 like never before. Just seen that just a minute ago. That's what even compelled me to come on here and speak. Some little girl, her dad just decapitated and cut off her arms. I know someone who lost a leg. I know a few incidences because I like to know what's going on around me. And, I like to know what's going on in the world, how far out we are, far as what the Lord said will come and all that. Anyway, I'm not about to get into all of that. But when I looked when the news popped up about this measles outbreak, I said, and it's so crazy because I know for a fact that everything I spoke and every video I did was sincerely, even if it was my other side. It was me. And I was fighting through that. And I was sharing that. And I was also speaking nothing but truth. Not a lie was in my mouth at all whatsoever, as God is my holy, 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 holy God. And then me believing and wanting to be obedient, I fell away, and I actually backslid, and I'm worse off right now, actually, than I was, spreading the truth, the good news, come see about a man, come see about a man. But, people, look at you and want to tell you about you. I want to tell you about what you shouldn't be doing and how you shouldn't be, and how you messed up, you confused, you all over the place, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, without understanding that the work is being done in me to get out of certain situations. But when you know a thing and someone thinks you shouldn't tell a thing, but when it is conformed and when it is proven, when it is shown to you that, oh, dang, you was right, and it ain't even though you was right, it's that the Lord is always right. Like I always say, he proves himself, and he just did to me with videos I did. I did them videos, but I deleted all of them. And right now, I wish I had that video, because I would actually try to learn to edit to go put these situations in my videos where I ain't lie. I did not lie about anything. When I was told to shut up, I did. When I was told to back off, whatever, you ain't nobody, or, you ain't nothing, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and ain't anybody believing you, ain't no prophetess. I know I ain't. I never asked to be, don't want to be. Don't claim to be. I told them to take that. I don't want to know. Why me? Why you want me to know dreams and that come true? Why do you want me? You give me flashes of these things, and then, and I don't even just speak on them right then. I wait, till I'm led to speak about it, and then, I'm shut down by the same people who say. So, so I shut it off, and I turned it down, because I don't want nobody to come at me no more. Any brothers, any sisters, any man of God, I don't want them to come at me no more. But I ain't supposed to do that. I'm supposed to just wait on God. And like I've always said, God proves himself, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. I just the one who suffered for it. But y'all be careful, and I hope everyone understands that God does use the foolishness of this world to confound the wise. God uses whom he uses. It can be the worst person, or the person you think, who is you? Not to preach the word or to teach the word, but to give a word from the Lord. I told him to take it back. And this is one of the reasons why, because I absolutely was doing and speaking and revealing, and I always would say God proves himself, and then I just shut it all down, because I got tired of being attacked by, I felt like, I don't know, it wasn't a feeling, it was the truth. I was not attacked, but I was being told to shut up. It ain't my job. But and if it's, your job ain't my job. I don't want the title. I don't even want the recognition or the attention. I'm going through things and I'm fixing things and I make mistakes as well. But one thing's for certain and two's for sure. I've always been scared to lie on God. Now, if I don't understand a thing or I misinterpret something and I learn, and then, okay, that's different. But no, I've always been very careful not to want to lie on Him because I know better. But yeah, I came on Him because it did it. He did it again. He did it again. He did it again to where he always shocks me to it was Him. He said it and it is actually happening. And it puts a fear in you and a shock in you because He used you to tell people, and even His own didn't believe and don't believe that He uses whom He uses. I learned that, the Lord will allow you to go so far and think, allow you to think and believe so much of something, and test you on, okay, let's see how they treat this person I'm about to go ahead and throw in the wrench and use. Let's see, we got some prideful people, and I don't know why. I don't know. I ain't talking. I don't know about this experience thing, and and he always reminds me that they didn't even believe Him. So even His own, the prominent ones, and he's not saying that they didn't have God. Not saying that they didn't have God. But some things about Him, they looking at you like, who was you to be used by God? Who was you for God to tell you anything? And then that person has to stay humble, shake the dust off, and carry on. Some people, it discourages them and they fall. Especially when it's people of the church, those that have God. And then you still gotta love that person and understand they don't understand that God showed them as well, that your heart is not what they seem to think it is. Only God knows that, and God's gonna prove that. Like that it ain't about the person, it's not, no. That person is gonna be shunned. They are not gonna be praised. They are not, especially by other one. They're gonna look, who is you? I'm the one He used. I'm the one He called. I'm the one, forgetting that, yeah, you still are, but you still need to humble yourself and test and see. But the only way to test and see is can't test it. Yeah, test it. But when no one knows you or, don't even want to talk to you, how will you know? You know what I'm saying? Jesus talked to these people, He literally talked to them. So we're not talking to people now. We just know, but I guess, we assume stuff, but God proves Himself.